What is up, folks? Welcome to the latest episode of the Harold McBasketball Show. I am your gracious host, as always, Harold McBasketball, along with my co-host, I Know Ball Paul. Paul, we're back. How are you doing?
I'm doing splendidly. I'm happy to be back. Love recording this show, and I'm ready to talk some ball. I mean, it's the NBA Cup. We are, trudging along in this NBA season, and there's plenty to talk about. So I'm ready to get into it.
Yeah, we're already about a quarter way through the NBA season, at least the regular season. So we've got a pretty good idea of like which teams are gonna be good now, which players are breaking out, what's going on with the in-season tournament, which I know is a huge deal to everybody right now. So we'll kind of kick that off at the top of the show, and then we'll get into, some of just like the surprises of the season, who's really stood out, all that fun stuff. But yeah, if we want to go NBA Cup, so like essentially the setup for it right now is we have so essentially round one on the East quarterfinals is complete. So the semifinals is going to be Magic versus Knicks for a bid to the in-season tournament championships. A fascinating matchup there. And then tonight we have Thunder versus Suns in the West and Lakers versus Spurs in the West to determine who's going to be getting to the semifinals there and then ultimately to the championship round. Um, do we just want to do takes? Should we do takes for
We should do
for the
takes.
West bracket?
And so it's happening tonight. So it's gonna, this video will probably be uploaded after the games are complete. So it'll be, we'll see how on it we were. Maybe just to quickly touch on, the Magic beat the Heat. It wasn't a super close game. The Heat are an interesting team. We can maybe talk a bit more about them later, but after a
Mhm.
hot start, it kind of feels like that it might have been fraudulent. It might have been a bit, I don't know, this whole like no pick and roll thing. It's cool, the pace is high, but they're still at the ninth seed. They're back where where they belong.
Yeah. Things have kind of gone back to the expectation for a lot of the teams in the East after a fascinating start.
And then the Knicks in Toronto destroyed the Raptors. I caught some of that game, and I was really pushing for the Raptors. They were at home. I'm like, this is something they can play for. This is a turning point right now, and they just sold. And like, there were guys on the floor whose names I did not recognize. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like Grady Dick has kind of been disappointing all season. But they've had some. They're fifth in the East. They've had some great play out of Barnes and Ingram, and unfortunately Brunson just fucking torched them. I think he had 37 points. If in the first quarter he destroyed them, and then by the second quarter the Raptors stopped scoring, and it kind of ended up being a blowout. So.
Yeah. I will say though, like, although we were not super kind to the in-season tournament when it first came out, and like last year we were kind of like meh on it. I kind of think it's fun this year. I'm enjoying it. I don't know. There's not like a whole lot going on for sports this time of the year. Obviously, there's football. That's kind of like a Sundays only thing. This has been nice. This has been like, especially like when basketball always feels a little bit meaningless at this point of the year, where it's like a little too early for playoff races. So it's like the games feel a little mundane. This has been a nice way to spice it up, and I think the teams that are in it like do reflect some of like the best and hottest teams in the league right now. Because like Magic, although they struggled a bit without Ben Caro, he's like back now. So he's kind of still working his way back from the injury, but that's like pretty exciting. The Knicks, as expected, are one of the top teams in the East. And then like out of the West, it's like, yeah, like Thunder, incredible, obviously. Lakers, big surprise this season. We'll talk about them a little bit more later. Spurs, they're without Wemby right now, but they have been phenomenal this year, and a lot of their young guys have been really impressive. And then the Suns, I'm not gonna like pretend that they're awesome, but they have been better than expected. They've been pretty good. And I think they made like a couple of good signings. I would say special shout out to Dylan Brooks, who is actually like a pretty valuable piece for them. That was a nice pickup. Um, that Gillespie guy they have at point guard has been like unreal with Booker down. I think it's kind of the big question mark tonight is like SGA just came back from injury for the Thunder. Booker is questionable, so it's like that's going to be a big difference maker in that game. Like if Booker doesn't play, like the Suns are probably cooked. But regardless, like these are interesting matchups, so I am excited to watch these.
Yeah, no, guys are playing hard. You feel that there is more of an intensity, sort of playoff atmosphere. But I do like it. I do think the whole premise of it is kind of stupid in terms of like I have like a whole rant I could go on about how it should be set up like within divisions, I think, and it's just too random how they do it. But
I agree. I wish the bracket were bigger because like once the bracket appears, I'm like the bracket is cool. I don't care at all about the group play. The group play is really stupid. I don't like the colorful courts. They kind of hurt my eyes. I'm just not with it. I know they need a way to like distinguish them from the other regular season games, but I just wish there was a way to like yeah, maybe it is just like division leaders at like a certain point of the year get put in, and that way we just have like a slightly bigger bracket because like the bracket is awesome. I love the single elimination. It is fun. It is slightly reminiscent of March Madness. So I would not be opposed to finding a way to expand this without, making it too convoluted.
in short, my dream would be to have like four divisions and then there's a winner of each division. Because I think like the NBA playoffs picks the ultimate best team and the in-season tournament just tries to kind of speed run that, which I don't love. I kind of wish there was kind of like who's the best in each division. And then it's kind of like a nice little precursor for and then there would be an advantage to each team that wins, or I don't know. But
The Ice Tea is fun. I'm on board. I like it.
it's better than what it was without the in-season tournament. So ultimately, I'm happy. All right, so what are our takes here? I mean, I don't think
Yeah.
there's crazy hot takes to be had in terms of
Yeah, I don't think we need to like belabor it too much. I would say like starting in the West, so the games we've going on tonight, I would love to take the Suns if Booker is playing. The obvious choice is the Thunder. I'm gonna go with the Thunder, but like if I get word that Booker is playing tonight, I may change that take. And then Lakers Spurs is like a matchup where I'd love to take the Spurs, but without Wemby and the Lakers just being red hot right now, I actually am taking the Lakers there, which I kind of hate to do. But those would be my takes. It's like those are kind of like the chalk takes would be going Thunder Lakers because they're the healthy teams right now. Um, but yeah, those would be my picks. That's how my bracket would look out of the West.
that's also how I feel. I think I do also kind of agree with you where I'm like, oh, if Booker plays, I know the Suns are gonna want
The
it
Suns have been really
so
fun.
bad.
I've really enjoyed the Suns this year. I wish they would give like Mark Williams like a little bit more run because he's so good when he gets like 30 plus minutes, but like they know his body's gonna fall apart if he does that. So they generally opt to play him like 20 minutes. But yeah, they're fun. Like their defense is actually really good. So
Yeah,
and
no,
I think
it's
they're an interesting matchup with the Thunder.
too bad Jalen Green's only played like two games.
I know, right? Like my boy.
But yeah, no, they've been super fun. And I'm not going to act like I was super in on this take, but in our West Power rankings, I said, hey, I had them, I think, ninth or 10th. I said they could be better than expected. And yeah, Dylan Brooks seems to kind of just make any team more competitive. And yeah, there was just a thing with Kevin Durant that wasn't working there. So it's nice for them that things are piecing together nicely.
Definitely, yeah, because it felt like they were going to a full rebuild, and that's not the case. It seems like they can at least tread water for like another year or two. Eventually, they might have to pull the plug just because they don't really have any of their picks still. But they're 14 and 10, like they're seventh in the West, and like the West is really good, so it is somewhat impressive. So we'll see where things go. But anyway, that's West. That would bring us to semifinals. So it would be Magic versus Knicks, and then it would be Thunder versus Lakers, is what we're saying. Give me the Knicks for the Magic matchup. I kind of said it like in the offseason. I was like something about the Magic. I'm like, I just don't like their vibe. So pretty easy Knicks pick for me. Obviously, Wagner is out now too. So unfortunately, like injuries do play a factor, especially in like a one game series. Like you can kind of cover yourself a little bit better in like a long term series. But like when it's one game, like if you don't have rounds, like yeah, it just makes your team way worse. So yeah, give me the Knicks there, and then out of the West, give me what's tough is like the Thunder just like don't lose games. They have one loss on the entire season. Like who's not going to pick the Thunder here? Like it feels so chalk to say. But like the Thunder are like legitimately going to lose like 5 games on the entire season. It's like they're not gonna lose in the in-season tournament. But it's kind of what makes the single elimination so interesting here. Um, so yeah, you just give me the Thunder win the whole thing, just because like yeah, they have one loss on the season. But that would be really cool if like their second loss came to the Lakers potentially in the semifinals to the in-season tournament.
Yeah, no, they're going to be super, super exciting games. Um, played in Vegas and everything. In the East, I think I'm going to take the Magic. The Knicks have been humming along. Their offense looks incredible. I think they're something like 17-6. Um, I'll give credit to Mike Brown. I mean, I thought it would kind of be a bit bumpier heading into the season just with the coaching change, but their offense looks great. Um, I like that he's not doing the two bigs thing as much. I like that he's just like cat at center and yeah, they're just an elite offense. But I like the Magic. I feel like as much as you hate them or there's something about them that you feel a type of way about. I kind of just really like them. And I thought everyone was like so overreacting to start this season. Um, and I-
Definitely true. There's been some overkill on Bankero. Like
yes. And like I was like, okay, if anything, maybe Mosley, the head coach, needs to be fired, which is an overreaction on my part. But
maybe she was the GM. Desmond Bain, man, might just not be that good. He's fine, but
dropped like
or first round
40
pick.
points, dropped 40 points last night. No, I think things are coming together really well for the Magic, and I'm very in on them.
Yeah.
Franz had a scary injury, but it turns out it's I think like a high ankle sprain from what I understand. So it looked like he might be out for the season, but he was grabbing his knee, he was in pain, but it's a high ankle sprain, so he should be back. And I'm optimistic. And Paolo, he's come back from his injury, and he's kind of seems to be more willing to adapt to the Magic's offense that has been really improved as of late. And Bane, I think, has looked great and great role players. Anthony Black has been very much improved. I guess
Yeah,
maybe
the Arkansas guys, that Arkansas team, because we'll talk about the later. We'll get to them. We'll get to them later in the episode. But yes,
will we? Because he was deleted when I tried to put him in the.
well, there may be another Arkansas player on the list who we'll talk about, which would be Walsh. Walsh is also an Arkansas guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Spoiler alert. Um,
So
so yeah,
anyway,
yeah. Wrap up your Magic take,
just yeah, wrapping it up. I'll take the Magic over the Knicks. I think that's a coin flip, and I guess it's like
and then
it's.
Magic to win it all. Magic win the IST and beat the Thunder, give them their second loss on the season.
Yeah, I feel stupid to take anyone but the Thunder,
Which is so annoying, actually.
but I'll
Because
take
like,
the Lakers. They've won it before.
okay, cool. What's totally gonna suck is like the Suns are just gonna beat the Thunder tonight and just
If
absolutely cook
Booker
these
plays,
Jackets. I hope so. I'm dying to see that if he plays. I'm like also he's also my fantasy team, so I'm like refreshing the lineup on the side, being like, is this guy playing tonight or what? It doesn't matter. He's in my lineup regardless, but more so for the content I really want to see him in.
and then yeah, fuck it. I'll take the Magic over um I'll take the Magic over the Lakers in the finals. I think that bracket could be 0 for 4 or 0
It
for 3. But
It certainly could be. And it's a weird thing too, where I feel like I say it every year, where it feels like the IST should be a young teams tournament, where you kind of think these like younger teams who like haven't been in the playoffs as much would get like really into the IST and really push these older teams. Like the older teams wouldn't care as much. But I mean, who's won it? It was the Lakers and then the Bucks won the first one, right? So it's been like the older teams that have
kind of the
come
opposite.
through in the IST. Okay, yeah,
It's almost like
but
the old teams that are like, we're probably not going to make a great playoff push. Let's
right.
prove ourselves now.
Yeah,
And
and like they still have all this energy at the start of the year, so they're like, oh yeah, like let me like kind of play my hardest now because I know I'm gonna be slightly cooked 60 games from now, which is insane. They have to play that many more games, but topic for another day.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. That's the those are the IST predictions. Dare we transition to some of the preseason takes to now?
Yeah, we can do that. I mean, we were going pretty hard in the off season. We did our East power rankings, we did our West power rankings, and then we did our hot takes episode. So we were definitely letting our predictions fly. And I watched back all three of those videos on 1.5 speed. And for the most part, I think like we had some pretty good takes, and I think that we've improved as basketball analysts. Um, definitely I said some very stupid things per
We
usual.
won't talk about those though. We won't talk about the bad ones.
But admitting you're wrong or not being afraid to say the stupid things is something that I love about myself. So, um, yeah, let's kind of look at what we have here. Um, I mean, just right off the bat, when we did our West Power rankings, I had the Clippers fourth. I think you had them fifth in the West. The Clippers are an all-time disaster.
Oh, we are starting with our bad takes. Yeah, we can go Clippers. Yeah. What is it? I mean, like,
I kind of get it. And that might just be kind of easy to say now, but I'm like, oh yeah, like Beal, John Collins, like those guys kind of suck. There's the whole scandal. Like this team,
yeah, God, the aspiration tree company. Yeah, but like, was it just like Kawhi has been good though, and like Harden isolated has been good. Zubats is still good, but it does just feel like one, they're just older now. So it's like, although like the stats still look good, it's like obviously the, efficiency, the defense, like not quite as much there. I mean, still there for Zoobs for sure, but not for our older friends. And yeah, it feels like just like the moves that were made around the roster just ended up being like really bad. Like yeah, the Beal one just made no sense. I know he was kind of like found money where it was like, let's just see if there's anything left in this. He was essentially free. But yeah, he's just done now. John Collins has been like bad for a while, so that's doing nothing for them. And then
Brooke Lopez, I guess.
awful. Like he's like 40. What are we doing here? Like there's no value adding players, and obviously like all that money goes to those players, and they let who's the guy that they
How?
traded to the Heat? Yeah, and they let Norman Powell go to the Heat, who's averaging 25 points per game. He's been awesome. He was
Yeah,
so good for them last year. He's legit. He legit might be an all-star for the Heat, and like for the same amount of money, they essentially could have just kept him and Lord knows they need him, especially like because like Kawhi will still miss games, Harden will miss games. They kind of just need like a third guy to put up shots and get points. And it kind of feels like just like turning him into players who just like legitimately cannot play. Like Beal like cannot be on an NBA court. I mean, well, he's just out for the year now, but even before he was like beyond cooked. Brooke Lopez is beyond cooked. John Collins is just bad. Like,
Chris Paul, rest in peace.
oh yeah, that was crazy. I like and like the full story like isn't really out in that, but it kind of sounds like Chris Paul being a little bit of a hothead was like pissed that the team was sucking. And like Ty Lue was pissed about it. The team was a little bit pissed about it. So they're like, all right, like fuck you. Like you're cut from your farewell tour now. Which is just like the ultimate cherry on top of such a disastrous season. So it's like I don't know what they do about it. I mean, I just think there's no way they can fix it. They just kind of have to, eat crow.
Yeah, and what do they don't have their pick, obviously. That's
Which is like the ultimate like disaster. So, like, and not only do they not have it,
guess who has it, yeah.
the Thunder have it, which is unreal, unprotected from the Clippers, which is ridiculous.
I
Yeah,
get
next year's draft is gonna be hilarious.
yeah, yeah, it's gonna be tough to watch for sure. And it seems like it's yeah, gonna be an all-time draft class. But I guess kind of on the same page, I'm kind of getting our bad takes out of the way. The Mavericks also kind of disappointing. Um, I
Yeah,
kind of had them ranked. Where did I have them ranked? Seventh, I guess, in my West rankings. You had them eighth. And then in the
yeah,
hot takes episode, we were like, hey, this team could really be something.
that was the
Um,
take purge, though. We cannot be held liable for anything said during that
we
episode.
can't. Um, and ultimately, I think we definitely underestimated, if anything, just like the horrible vibes of trading away your franchise
Yeah, like
player.
yeah, that just clearly permeated into the entire team. Like the organization is just poison pilled.
But now that Nico Harrison has been fired, it kind of seems like things are stabilizing. I mean, Cooper Flag is still as great of a talent as there is. What he's doing at 18 years old, I think, is phenomenal, and he's kind of getting the hang of things. So I don't think the Mavericks are like necessarily out of playoff contention. Easy, I think they could maybe be a play-in team, but it's looked really bad. D'Angelo Russell is like horrible. Anthony Davis is
Yeah,
injured. The point
it's
guard
it's
situation. Yeah.
it's insane how poorly that 80 Luka trade went. It's like it's really just gone like worst case. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say worst case scenario. It's gone as expected, which is just like, yeah, Anthony Davis is just old and injured all the time, and like this is just what you have. And like unfortunately, like on paper, the team did look good. but it's like Davis just hasn't played the entire season. So this thing hasn't even gotten a chance to get off the ground. They literally just today they announced that Derek Lively's out for the entire season. So now when Davis is hurt, it's like Gafford is all they have. So they went from this like pretty deep center rotation to only Gafford on some nights, which is pretty tough. So yeah, it's just not great. And then like obviously like Kyrie's still out. They're in discussions of like what they want to do with Kyrie right now. So it's like depending on how good the team is doing by the end of the month, like maybe he might be back. It's also apparently on the table that they're just like Kyrie take the entire season off. We're just not going to be good, which is like kind of crazy. I don't think they're going to do that, but that was like legitimately reported by Tim McMahon, who is like the Mavs insider. So we'll see with that. Their disaster. Not our best work with that one, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I still stand on the fact that their roster looked pretty good, but we did, again, we overlooked how insanely bad of a vibe it is in Dallas, especially when they're chanting "Fire Nico" the whole game. Like that's not good for the players, and there's some other
Yeah.
things we
Yeah.
overlooked. We're not.
Yeah. And all the players just feel like they need to try to replace Luka, which is impossible. So, yeah.
All right,
So
maybe
that,
we can get into some better takes, or well,
uh, I think so. I think so. Yeah. I'd say honorable mentions real quick are like Pistons. They're awesome this year. We certainly weren't haters, but we were like, I think we had them like middle of the pack in the East, and they're like by far the best team. We'll talk about them a bit later. A bit more later. And then like Lakers have been like surprisingly really good, which is like a somewhat common theme where it's like usually every offseason where like the Lakers suck. Like this is the year they fall off. I'm always like LeBron is cooked, it's over. And then like they're still good. And like LeBron has hardly played, so it's like Jerry's still out on that one. But yeah, they're ridiculous. We'll talk about Reeves a bit more later. But yeah, those are the those kind of like the team standouts. I know you've got a victory lap or two you want to take, Paul. So I'll let you kind of run through your personal takes here.
I mean, my main victory lap is I think Sangoon has looked incredible.
Yeah,
Uh,
hell yeah.
he's definitely in MVP discussions, but kind of on the outskirts, like maybe 10th or 11th in the odds. But ultimately, I've just loved watching him play, and I feel very validated that I ranked him 11th. And there are plenty of other players that were poorly ranked, but him at 11th, not too bad. Um, I had some fun takes like Giddey being an all-star. That looks good. That wasn't my hottest take. Peyton Pritchard being an all-star, that could still happen, but likely not. But he's,
Definitely not gonna happen. But it has been really nice.
yeah, I think I said he could average 20 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, and he's probably at like 17 and a bit and averaging maybe 5 assists. So he's playing well. Matherin's taking over the Pacers. I think I was on about that. We mentioned the Suns. And Reed Shepherd, I feel very validated. I think both of us have long been Reed Shepherd supporters, especially you. Doing our redraft, you might have had him, I think, first overall. And it felt like I don't. Maybe I shouldn't take my victory lap too quickly. Like he's not balling out, but it feels like the consensus was like they're fucked. They have no point guard. Reed Shepherd played in the G League last year, and I feel like we were saying, come on, like give Reed Shepherd a chance. Started off shaky, people were doubling down, and then nope, he can shoot 45%. He's just a
Yeah.
smart, explosive player. He has his shortcomings, but he's doing a pretty good job, I think, of replacing Fred VanVleet. And I hope he keeps ramping up because, he still isn't getting a ton of minutes. Ime is dying on the double big hill, which seems to be working. So
It's his favorite. You can't get enough. But yeah. I mean the Rocks are good. The double bigs out the Celtics to the finals that one time. Yeah, Shepard's very much been as advertised. Whereas like coming out of the draft, it was like this guy gets in passing lanes really well. He's still doing that at 1.5 steals per game right now. The defense was like a little shaky at the start, but I mean like, he was making a big leap there. It's honestly pretty good at this point. Like I'd say it's league average, at least on like eyeball test. And then the shooting, yeah, as you mentioned, is just absurd. Like the 45% is not like a vibe check. Like that is like he's just legitimately shooting 45%. Some of them are off the dribble. Like some of them are tough shots. Like he's legitimately just like one of the best shooters in the league. And that's what we knew coming out of the draft, which is like why we were both very hot on him. Is that like he's just like a very special talent when it comes to shooting. Like the value that a player can bring to a roster when they can shoot like that is ridiculous. Like so he pretty much like fills that Fred VanVleet role perfectly. Um, but obviously he needs to just like ramp up a little bit more, get the minutes up. it's a tough transition to going from, sometime in the G League to like full-time starter in the NBA, but I totally see it. I think it's going to happen. I think the Rockets are just kind of bringing him along slowly, and come playoffs, I could totally see this guy as just like a 32 minutes per night starter for the Rockets. No questions asked. There's still people out there being like, "Oh, the Rockets like need to trade for a point guard." I'm like, they really don't. I'm like, I just think it's going to be Reed if they want to trade for a backup, sure, but I like what I'm seeing with Shepard.
I love the Rockets, and I think they
Me
are
too.
still kind of being underrated in just the championship contender conversation. Yeah, it feels like Reed also has the respect of his teammates. Seems like Kevin Durant and Sengun love him and see and have kind of accepted them in their inner
Oh
circle.
yeah. Durant has been great. Like quick shout out to like Durant. He's just been like such a good addition to the team. He has been willing to take a backseat too. We did debate that in this offseason, like who's gonna be like the alpha on the team, like the top option, Şengün or KD. Şengün does have higher usage. I did check before this. I think it's like 29% versus 26%, which is still like very high usage for KD. But yeah, as an older player, like he's more willing to kind of take that step back. He plays off of Şengün really well. Like it's such a fascinating thing that the Rockets have going. Just like the size they have, the shooting, the chemistry, it's all awesome. So I like them a lot. I agree that they're like very for real championship teams or team. Thunder
Not
is still concerning, but
not to open up a can of worms, and we have 4 minutes until we have to send in
please.
the link, but on the Zach Lowe show, like he was discussing with I forget who, but they were talking Giannis trades, and they're talking about a hypothetical Rockets trade, and both him and his guest, he proposes like, would you rather have to give up Sengun or Amen Thompson in a package to get back Giannis? And both of them were like, I'd be close, but we'd feel more comfortable giving up Sengun. And I just want to go on record, and I think that's ridiculous. I think Sengun is a lot more valuable than Amen Thompson, and I tend to still think Amen Thompson is a little bit overhyped. Both the Thompson twins, I get the ceiling is there, but I'm like this. I don't think the shooting is gonna ever be there. I don't know. Maybe if you have an opinion on that, but I just wanted to be on record and say my love for Sengun makes me spit in the idea that he should be included in a package over Amen Thompson.
Yeah, it's a difficult thing. I hadn't put that much thought into it, but I think like the argument that can be made is like, okay, like if you're moving around pieces, like what do you want your starting lineup with Giannis to look like with him? Like, do you think Giannis plays better with Şengün or does he play better with Thompson?
That's
You
fair.
could make an argument that like Thompson and Giannis play a very similar style. So maybe you
Giannis and
wouldn't want to.
Sengun.
I was gonna say Giannis and Thompson because they're both kind of like big transition players, big athletes, great defenders, not good shooters. Similar roles. Şengün and Giannis, like I would say different roles, but like maybe you do want to move Şengün so like the paint isn't clogged up. Like, do you want like a facilitating big man with Giannis around, or do you just want like floor spacers around him? So maybe that'd be the question where it's like, because yeah, I think I agree that it's like I would rather have Şengün overall, but if I'm getting Giannis, I kind of need to think about fit there and what makes the most sense. So, but maybe I wouldn't do it at all. Like, call me crazy. I know a lot of people are saying like you get Giannis regardless, but I'm kind of like maybe just keep this young team. Like this team's like
No,
might just be a championship team for the next decade. Like let's just see what happens here.
I think that is ultimately the right answer. But I just in the hypothetical, Amen or Sengun, again, I might be crazy for not seeing it, but I think the consensus is very people are underrating Sengun and overrating Thompson. So
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah. And I think it's very common with kind of like the flashier players. So okay, cool though. Yeah, let's part two this, and part two we'll kind of go through some of our breakout players this season.
sounds good. Be right back.
All right, and we are back. We're live, transitioning to some of our breakout guys for this season. There have been a lot of like really good ones, a lot of surprises, I would say, because like every offseason I kind of go through players and there are usually some obvious ones where I kind of just like see an upward trajectory in points average per season, and I'm like, this is the year they break out. A lot of these guys, I was just like, wow, okay, like this is surprising. This came out of nowhere. Um, is there anyone you want to start with, Paul, as a breakout guy? Ideally, someone who's like a big surprise.
I kind of want to start with just like one that's not as big of a surprise.
Okay, if you've got a favorite, I can't be mad. Go for it.
It's not a favorite. It's something I'm ashamed about. It's who I had ranked 20th in my player rankings. It's someone that I said might struggle as the first option on the team that I support. I think I was a bit sleeping on Jaylen Brown or just kind of underrating how
Mhm.
incredible of a player he is. And like, this is just an official apology, and I feel ashamed because I am a Celtics fan. And he has brought such a joy to watching the Celtics this year. I feel like, um, I don't know, his game is so fun to watch. It's very efficient. There's not a lot of BS to it, and I didn't say he was bad or anything, but he has impressed me, and if anything, he's just been a lot more of a joy to watch than I expected. So shout out Jaylen Brown. Insane comments recently about Scotty Barnes. I think
That was so funny. That was awesome.
awesome. Yeah, it was, but I'm like, whoa, I don't know.
That
It
was great. That was great. He
was
knows how to get
crazy.
the clicks online. He knows what he's doing.
So I wanted to get that out of the way, but I think you go ahead and pick who you want to talk about in terms of someone that might have been less expected because most people are like Jaylen Brown's going to ball out, he's going to be an MVP candidate, and he is, and I was kind of here being the fucking
Yeah, I mean, like to spend 30 more seconds on Jalen Brown. Yeah, it is one of those things where it's like it was tough to figure out like if he was going to just like because I kind of said this offseason, I was like, I think the Celtics are like, going to be tanking a little bit. That's why we didn't sign a center. And we could be in store for a season where it's just like, yeah, Jalen Brown kind of taking whatever shot he wants. He's going to average a lot of points, but maybe that hurts his efficiency. It's been the complete opposite, where he's been like super efficient. His shooting percentages are better compared to last season. His passing looks way better. His dribbling like looks way better. It used to be a meme that he couldn't dribble a basketball and like he had no left hand. And now every night I'm seeing like hardened size ups and step backs. It's like I'm not sure if like he just took this leap this season or what's more likely is he's had this, but he's just been the second option behind Tatum. So it is really nice to, see more out of his game. And also just all his practice as the top option just makes him more comfortable with the ball in his own hands. So like weirdly, it might be one of those situations where there's a silver lining here and like this actually might be, I don't want to say it's good for the Celtics long term that Jason Tatum tore his Achilles, but I do think it is helpful to get Brown this kind of experience as a top option for entire season. And it's like, I don't know. It's like the Celtics are actually really good. They're third in the East right now. So, um, yeah, I don't think Tatum should come back this season, but he has made this an awesome season to watch as a Celtics fan.
yeah, and just kind of quelling all the bullshit like, oh, could he be a first option? It's like, yeah, he
Totally.
can.
Yeah. And I remember there were people being like, oh, he's not worth like the max. He should have gotten less. It's like, this guy's worth more than the max. The max contract is not high enough for certain guys. Like, he's worth more.
Yeah. Anyway, Jaylen Brown, I stand corrected. I mean, I never. Okay, I've said my piece. Love you, Jaylen Brown, and it's been a joy and a pleasure to watch the Celtics. So
Absolutely. All right. I think my biggest surprise this season is, and there are a bunch of good ones. This one I just like can't believe every time I look at his stats. Austin Reeves did.
yeah,
He's averaging like 28 points per game, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. He's legitimately been like a top 10 player on the season. And this is an undrafted free agent who is making like $12 million a season. Like, as far as the money being paid to this guy and the output that's being produced, he by far has like the best ratio between those numbers. It's ridiculous the value they've gotten out of him. The Lakers have been so good without LeBron because he's legitimately just been like a secondary superstar next to Luca. And I'm like legitimately in awe. And like every time I watch him, I'm so impressed. His efficiency is really good. Like I think it is, yeah, 37% from three, 50% from the floor. So it's like he's making everything.
7 assists. Why not?
Yeah, and he's like pretty saucy now. It's like he's got like some nice dribble
He's
moves. Like
ridiculous.
he's super like slithery in the paint. Like he's just so good. And it's like every team in the league could have had him for like $15 million. And the Lakers were able to re-sign him a couple seasons ago. And like, my God, what a master class from their front office. I cannot believe how good he is. I just don't get it.
What's perplexing is obviously each season he's improved like significantly, and it's just, again, he was an undrafted. He played 4 or maybe 5 years of college ball, so he was coming into the NBA, I think, as a 23, 24-year old, and you don't
Yeah.
expect these jumps out of a guy going from 24 to 25, 25 to 26. Like these are the jumps you kind of expect earlier. You might expect it, one year, but he's just constantly improving. Um, and it's why the Lakers are, I think, sitting at the third seed, and why I think they are rightfully like contenders. I mean, they're like it's Doncic and Kyrie. Now it's Doncic and Reeves almost like, and the supporting cast is pretty good. So, that was a team that went to the finals. I think Doncic is better than the Mavericks version of himself that went to the finals. So I think the Lakers are very spicy. I think we can talk about their defense and some other issues, but ultimately they have Luka Doncic and they have Austin Reeves and they have LeBron. But
And they have LeBron. But like it is kind of amazing to be able to like turn a leaf because there kind of was a question where it's like, okay, but like the Lakers probably do need to like rebuild in a year or two because like LeBron's gonna get old. So it's like, who do you pair with Luca? And it's like, oh, you just pair Austin Reeves, which is also like really fun for marketing, just kind of like two saucy white boys. Like, people are gonna love that. Like they can't not love it. And then like on the top of the Lakers, just like mini shout out to like DeAndre Ayton, who has like not been terrible. Like I'm not gonna like pretend like he's been, an elite center, but like he's been playing a lot of minutes for them. He's been playing hard on defense. He's been scoring when he gets the ball. Like he's playing a really important role for this Lakers team. So he also gets like a sprinkle of the just like he's a part of that success out there. Albeit like Luca and Reeves absolutely cooking are like the majority of the reason why.
I'm sure he'll get scapegoated at some point. But no, he's
Oh
he's
yeah, once playoffs start, yeah, you already know.
but yeah, more effort defensively and I think the efficiency is a lot better and that comes with playing with elite playmakers. So yeah, any shout out DeAndre Ayton.
Cool. All right, you got a player you want to throw out there?
I guess I think Denny Avdia just deserves like
Yeah.
a round of
Yeah.
applause. I think I he was someone that I think both of us when he was traded from the Wizards, we were like, why? And then, we didn't expect the jumps, but I
Would you like to hear again what that trade was?
I think I know kind of the gist of it.
Let, let me at least put it out there for the fans.
Bub Carrington.
So Bub Carrington, so yeah, there was a pick that turned into Bub. Malcolm Brogdon. And then there's a 2029 first rounder, but it's like the second favorable pick, so it's like probably something that's gonna be like outside the lottery. Um and it and yeah, still just something that just doesn't make sense. Like I don't know why you trade like he was like the number sixth pick in that draft or something like that. And it's like I still don't know if like the Wizards were giving up on him or if they're almost like salary dumping him. It was super weird, but they essentially gave him away in the draft. It was super odd
They
or in the trade.
never they never gave him like enough minutes and just like it made no sense because they were a horrible team who needed young talent and anyway, but what Denny Avdia is doing, yep, I have a thumbnail that says Denny Avdia is going to be an all-star. I think it's our most viewed video from
Hell
this
yeah.
offseason
Yeah. The Blazers fans are real ones.
it wasn't like a super hot take considering how well he was playing towards the end of last season, but he's kept it up. He's averaging like what LeBron was averaging at his age, just like I don't know, 27 points, like
Yeah, yeah, I've got the stats in front of me, and kind of to show off the leap. So like last season, he was averaging 17 points per game, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, like pretty good. And like, and he was obviously doing way better than that post All-Star break when he was kind
right.
of breaking out. But like the scoring wasn't what it is this season. It was like kind of seemed like he was potentially going to be like a triple double threat, but like averaging like 21 or like 22 points per game. This season, 26 points per game, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, like big jump from like 4 assists to six there as well. The defensive stats not totally there. Defense is not a specialty, nor does it have to be when he's like as much of an offensive engine as he is. And then like really efficient, so like 38% from three, 48% from the floor. Like that's fine. So really impressive. Just like crazy leap going from like 17 points per game to 26, and then also with all the assists.
And it's his transition play is ridiculous. Just that's where he
Yeah.
excels is just on fast breaks. Um, yeah, the Blazers aren't very good. I kind of expected with this Denny leap that they might be doing a bit better. Um, Klingon looks good. He looks like he's going to keep developing into a really good starting center. His game is flawed at times, but he's an excellent defensive player. So.
Yeah.
Um,
And like Holiday was like sneaky, like super good for him. He's like hurt now, but like back when Holiday was healthy, I could see the vision of this defensive team kind of running around Denny. So
I
I still
mean,
see the vision. It's like obviously they're still like, they just need to keep collecting young players, but I I see things coming together. I see a little bit of hope for this team, which there isn't always hope for these rebuilding rosters.
They handed the Thunder their only loss of the season, so that's
Hang the banner.
hang the banner. They started off great. Maybe since Klingon was mentioned, I feel like his counterpart in that draft was Zach Edey. Who
Yeah, we can totally transition to Edey, which is
I feel like you're dying to talk about Edey. I feel like you
I am dying
watched
to talk about
a
Edey.
Grizzlies game or something, and then you're like, Paul, we need to do a video of players breaking out. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, he's just been like red hot. It's like I don't know. I mean, he just looks like college Zach Edey. And after his rookie year, he definitely looked like he was going to be valuable to the Grizzlies. But there was kind of this question of like, can this guy be more than a 20 minutes kind of player per night? Like, can he do these extended runs? Can he move his feet fast enough to stay on the court? And like, as of lately, it's like the Grizzlies have just like cranked the Zach Edey touches up to like a million where it's like they're keeping him out there for like extended runs. He's getting like 30 minutes every game, at least as of lately. The rebounding's been like ridiculous. So it's like kind of like some stats on his season. Like let me pull them up here. So it's like on the season, he's averaging like 14 points per game, 11 rebounds, 2 blocks, like really nice. But like in the last 2 weeks, it's 17 points per game, 14 rebounds, which is just like ridiculous. But like of course he's 7'4", and then like 2.5 blocks per game. So it's like the scoring is there big time all of a sudden, where it's like they're kind of using him like Purdue used Zach Edey, where he is getting those touches in the paint. He's using his floater, which is just like unstoppable. It's essentially the Kareem skyhook. And all of a sudden, I totally see the vision. And I'm like, wow, this guy's just like 7'4" with really nice touch. He actually moves his feet really well. He does a really good job getting his rebounds on misses or other people's misses. Like cleans the offensive glass. And he's kind of this like perfect complementary player for Jaren Jackson Jr., who I've always like been really mad at for being horrible at rebounding. But then you've got Edey, who gets every rebound. So it's kind of a beautiful thing. I've loved what I've seen with Edey. The Grizzlies are a bit of a mystery. I don't totally know what they need to do with their roster, but Edey is a bright spot.
Yeah, no, he's been really good. He played 4 years of college, but he was kind of I don't know, he was like a year younger than all the other seniors. So I think he's only 23, 24 maybe at this point. So it's not like he's 25, 26. Um, Cleaning the glass is now something we use here on the Harold McBasketball Show. And some of the advanced numbers are also awesome. Um,
Ooh, let's go. What you got?
I think he leads the league in defensive points allowed per possession on and off. That's a mouthful, but per 100 possessions, I think opponents are scoring 26 less points when Edey is on the floor so far. Kind of a smaller sample. Um, and I think that can also speak to who's on the floor when he's on the bench, but crazy because that's 6 points ahead of the next guy, who's
Hmm.
Mias Queta, by the way.
Shout
Um,
out.
so yeah, his defensive impact is there, and like you said, he has great touch around the basket, and his per 36 as of late is ridiculous,
I
especially the
kind
rebounding. The rebounding.
of, I'm like, I kind of just think he's a star. I'm like, I'm like this guy. Because after last season, I was like, this guy's a really good role player. That was a nice pick. I'm glad he moved up in the draft too. Because like initially people were like, yeah, he's a second rounder. Like this stuff doesn't work. And then everybody came around with him going into the draft, and everyone was like, no, like this probably will work. Actually, he's pretty awesome. So then the Grizzlies took him pretty high, which is like a nice pick. Obviously nice in theory. And last season he was looking like a really good role player. And then like immediately just after like one off season, I'm like, this guy's a star.
Yeah,
Like this guy is so awesome.
I'm gonna tune into more Grizzlies games because I haven't caught much Zach Edey, but
Ah, it's beautiful. Like
he's on my
like
radar.
uh like like Zach Lowe and Bill Simmons always talk about like league pass teams. Like the Grizzlies they're a league pass team for me. Like Zach Edey is must watch TV.
I'd love Ja Morant to be back in the picture, but it seems like he's just starting fights off the bench.
Yeah, that'd be nice. But like that's a topic for another podcast. Anyway,
Real quick, I said he leads the league in defensive points allowed. Just the offensive leader on off is Denny Avdija, who per 100 possessions, his team is scoring 18 and a half more points when he's on the floor. So
shout out our boy.
we're using advanced metrics, guys. Cleaning the glass is amazing. Have you given it a chance, Harry?
I have. I was studying up today on it, and yeah, it is spectacular. For people who are interested, it gives you a lot of advanced stats for like teams and players, but it makes it pretty easy to digest. You know, lets you kind of know like what percentile they're in.
All right, we're not doing a whole ad read, but it's
Oh, sorry. They do pay us. It's great though. It makes us sound way smarter.
they don't pay us. If they would love to pay us, we would. I will name drop them every day. We tried B-ball index, and it's good, but it's a
Sucks.
bit convoluted.
It's not good. It's not good
Unless
to
they
use it.
sponsor us.
Yeah,
Anyway,
money talks. Okay, transition to another one of my darlings, Jalen Johnson.
yeah.
My boy, I love him. He's on my fantasy team last year, crushed. On my fantasy team again this year, top five in fantasy. I like I've I'm like this guy. I'm like this guy just might be the best player in the league. He's not because like Jokic exists and there's kind of that top tier that like is impossible to crack into. But like for the last like month, he like has been arguably one of the best players in the league. Like with Trae Young out for like most of the season right now, he's averaging 23 points per game, 11 rebounds, 8 assists. Like all of a sudden, he's kind of turned into where like last year was kind of like this like 3 and D lob threat power forward. Everyone's like, this is like the prototypical forward you want on your roster. It was like all of a sudden now he's like a do it all point forward, kind of like Ben Simmonsy in transition, but also shoots 40% from three. Massive freak athlete, runs the Hawks offense so well. Better than Trae Young, sorry. Like RIP my Trae Young take. You're not even the best player on your own team anymore. So like all of a sudden like things got like pretty interesting for the Hawks where it's like obviously like you're gonna see how the Trae Young thing and Jalen Johnson thing works out, but I don't know, man. I'm like there's a world where it's like you might need to kind of clear out this roster around Jalen Johnson because he's easily been a top 10 player this entire season.
Yeah. Not much to add there. I mean, emphasis on freak athlete, the way that guy soars is insane and so effortless. And
The way he swats basketballs too. Like when he blocks shots like he's like 7'2" out there.
yeah, I think that they are 12-8 without Trae Young this season. Um, and I think they have a negative record with Trae Young in a very small sample. But I think, the pressure is on now where they can definitely leverage this against Trae Young. And I don't think they have any intent on ever offering him a max contract, but they might be able to re-sign him for a more reasonable deal, or I don't know. But ultimately, I think they can feel comfortable moving in a different direction. So it'll kind of be interesting to see what happens with that. I think he has one more year on his contract.
Yeah, and like with how good Jalen Johnson has been, like also how good the team has been with Jalen Johnson. You know, it kind of just like makes you think it's like, do you want to take the ball out of his hands? Not really. Like I said, like I just think he's straight up better than Trae Young. Trae Young just like has not been efficient enough to justify him being the top option over Jalen Johnson right now. And then also like the Hawks do have like this pretty like connective defense right now without Trae
Yeah.
Young, which is nice. So all of a sudden like you bring back Trae Young, you kind of set that defense on fire. So all of a sudden like I do kind of see a nucleus where it's like okay, like the Porzingis thing, he's always hurt. Like maybe we don't do that. But Okongwu is still awesome. Nikhil Alexander's been like a really nice piece from the season. Dyson Daniels is still an elite defender. So it's like maybe you do kind of like ship out some of those older parts, get back some draft picks, maybe see if you get some shooting and defense around Jalen Johnson, just see what happens.
How's Reese's
Because he's
shot doing?
awesome. Not good. He sucks.
Stop. Listen, he's
He's
still
not good. He's not good.
he's
He's
19 years
not
old.
terrible. He's not terrible. He's like but he's just not that good of a player. He's just not that special.
He's 19 years old, and we didn't expect him to be special. We just expected him to be an elite role player, which people he will be,
Yeah, and I still think he will be an elite role player, but like, yeah, probably should have just drafted Reed Shepard.
probably. He's 19. Yeah, Reed Shepard would have been kind of fun to just replace Trae Young with.
Yeah, or Sar. I mean, we could transition to Sar right now. Like,
Yeah. I'm,
quick transition to Sar. We don't need to spend as much time because he doesn't quite to the same level as the other guys we're talking about right now, but for what like the conversation around Sar was last year, was like kind of going into the draft, he was this enigma out of Perth. We were like, he hasn't really played anything. Like we don't really know how good he's gonna be. It looked like he didn't try hard on defense last year. He wasn't efficient. He kind of just like it was kind of just a mess last year. He just didn't look that good.
I love that you said out of Perth.
Yes.
I guess that is the team he played for, but he's
Yeah.
French.
Yeah.
He's
I
French
mean,
people.
he's a French dude. And then like this season, all of a sudden, it's like he's averaging like 19 points per game, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, two blocks and a steal. And it's like the scoring has been like really there, which was like a big leap from last year where it was a mess. But like the passing's also been there. Like the 3 assists are like not nothing for somebody who's playing the center position. He looks good passing the ball out of the post. He can handle it a little bit. The defense has been good. I'm not saying he's like an all-star right now. Like he's been missing time. He's still got his issues right now, but he's clearly just like a really good player. I feel like he's got this like similar like play style to Evan Mobley, which is like a really nice pickup for the Wizards. Um, and it's a really nice thing. I know it's only his second season, so it's tough to say he's a breakout player in his second season, but I just did not have a lot of faith that this was coming anytime soon. It's here now. And I think a lot of people felt the same way. So shout out to Alex Sarr.
Shout out Alex R. I'm not watching Wizards games. I'm not subjecting
You don't
myself.
have to. You don't have to. Just watch his highlights. His highlights are good. They're impressive.
Yeah. I think he's been injured as of late, but yeah, a really hot start to the season and someone that we were not saying very nice things about when we saw him in summer league.
No.
Let's talk about Jalen Duren,
Yes.
who I kind of hate the fact that I didn't rank him in my top 50, that I didn't mention him because people, I swear Jalen Duren has been kind of a point of fascination for me, someone that I've really always believed would end up being like a top 10 center. Um, and it's
Yeah.
just someone I forgot about. He slipped my mind.
Yeah. I was gonna ask. Like, he's usually on your fantasy teams. Like, for those who doubt Paul, like he's usually rostered by Paul, taking in advance to make sure he's on his roster. So
When I played fantasy.
back in
But
your prime.
yeah, it's just it seems like he's made the jump this year. He was someone who was very young coming into the NBA, probably 18, 19 years old. He's probably what 21, 20, maybe more like 22, 23 now. Um,
I can do a little check.
and it's just his offense has opened up, and he looks like this athletic menace. Um, the
Yeah, he's
face-up
22.
game. He's 22 people.
Yeah, super young.
Um,
Yeah, very very unique offense too for like those who've not been watching. Because coming into the league, he definitely looked kind of like your standard big-bodied center where it's like double threat for sure. He's gonna block shots, get rebounds, play in the low post. All of a sudden, he's got like this like transition game. Like they'll like let him take up the ball, like they'll give it to him at like the top of the key or even like the top of the 3-point line. His handles are like some of the best as far as centers go in the league. Like he will cross people up, he'll break out the spin moves, like he'll do crazy moves to get a bucket in the paint or even outside it. So the offense has come along, like the passing is pretty good. And he really is just this like perfect complementary piece for Cade because when they run the pick and roll, it's a thing of beauty. And he's got soft hands. Like he's always catching the ball when he gets past it.
Emphasis on that because I think that he is going to be the a great number two option, and I think Pistons fans can I feel very comfortable that he's going to be an outstanding running mate for Cade Cunningham, who um, is probably top five in MVP consideration this year.
Yeah.
But I think Jalen Duren is an incredible um, kind of running mate, kind of a second option there. With the way he's been playing, and I expect him to keep developing. He also just looks so cool. I don't know. He's just like a good
Oh, he does.
looking
Total badass. Like,
little.
yeah, yoked, just like so jacked.
He's good looking. I mean, we can say it like he has like the look, and I like
1000%.
minimal accessories. I love a minimal accessory kind of basketball player. It just shows that he's a lunch pail kind of guy.
Yeah.
Um,
And the Pistons are the one too. Like he's gonna be an all-star this year. Like as long as things keep going the way they're going for the Pistons and he stays healthy, he should be a lock to make the all-star game.
and the assist numbers don't show it, but I've always felt that he was kind of an understated passer where he can just make some nice
1000%.
reads. And I think he's hardly averaging 2 assists. So, but yeah, trust me, guys, I've seen some highlights where he makes some really nice passes. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I mentioned and like obviously like the offense runs through Cade so much that Cade is gonna be the guy who's picking up all the assists. But I alluded to it as well, where it's like, yeah, you just see him make the right pass every time. He's a really smart player.
yeah, yeah, huge. I mean, the Pistons are someone that I mean, I ranked maybe sixth or seventh. I think you rank them fourth or fifth. And they've just been outstanding. And I think in part Cade has obviously blown us all away with how dominant he's been, but I think Jalen Duren was the part that I was kind of like not considering enough because like I definitely didn't think their depth or
Yeah.
they didn't have kind of a second option there, but
Yeah, it was hard to figure out who the second star was going to be because they're essentially just running back the same team as last year without Malik Beasley. Like that's like pretty much just what they decided to do. So everyone was like, okay, like they were like middle of the pack last year. They'll probably be the same. It's like maybe things will be slightly better. You know, maybe Cade makes a little jump, but yeah, I don't. It's like we didn't foresee like this like massive Duran leap coming, and really even like the second Cade leap where it's like making the jump from like all star to like superstar.
yeah.
So yeah, the Pistons have been great to watch. It's been a good story. Bigger
Jaden,
staff is an awesome coach. Like
yeah, Jaden Ivey kind of ramping up.
yeah, he's still only playing a few minutes. Like that's what's interesting about the team though. It's like Ivy's still ramping up. He's not really playing. Asar like has not been great. He's been fine, good defender, but like he's not a Men Thompson. Like the offense is just like not on the same level remotely as of now. So it is interesting. It really is just like the Caden Durn show. I kind of look at this team. It's like, yeah, there's good chemistry, but it doesn't really like I don't know. And maybe it's just they're so young that they're it's like these players are still kind of like getting ingrained in our brains as superstars. But yeah, looking at the roster this offseason, like even now I'm like, wow, crazy this team is the first seed in the East. But I mean, I get it.
I get it. They'll be tested in the playoffs for sure, but
They will.
Cade is fucking incredible, and
So
I
good.
had him ranked, I think, right about where I think I had him fifth or sixth.
Yeah, I mean like Cade might be just other than Giannis, Cade is probably the best player in the East. Just kind of like looking at the standings, I
Yeah,
would
I think
say
he's
I would
definitely
say
yeah.
yeah.
You could
It's like the only other people to consider there would be probably like Maxey, Donovan Mitchell.
and
I mean,
Brunson.
Jalen Brown's having a great season, like maybe him, but yeah. So I don't know, but he's been great.
Another great player in the East to transition, Jordan Walsh.
Yeah, yeah, go off. Yeah, I saw you add him. So
No, I
give
mean,
us your Jordan Walsh takes. Arkansas legend.
yeah, we're wrapping up here. I mean, yeah, just I've been watching a lot of Celtics now that I don't play fantasy, and Jordan Walsh as of late, he's not missing the end of the sentence. He's not missing. Defensively, he's incredible. Um, Basically, like him and Minot as a duo have made Garza and Boucher like um, they're out of the lineup. He's made them. What's the word I'm looking for?
Obsolete.
Yeah, he's made them obsolete. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Um, he's leading the team in some on-off stats, the points per possession, effective field goal percentage, offensive rebounding percentage per 100 possessions, courtesy of off
Clean the glass.
cleaning the glass. Fuck, thank you. Um, so yeah, it's because he's just shooting like 46% right now from three. Ridiculous also just finishing and it's he's not creating his own shots, but he's being the perfect role player and guarding um the best players on the other team. So and shout out just he's got such a cool look. The he's bald, he has alopecia, and I think it's just such a cool, unique look. I don't know, maybe that's kind of weird to say, but it's genuine. I think
Nah, he's dope. He's dope, and he's a hooper. He's a hooper for
he's just
sure.
so athletic. He's got such a cool look to him, a great energy. And I think the story is that Jalen Brown kind of was like kind of nudging Missoula to get him on the floor more, and it's just paid dividends in a huge way. So
Yeah, it's probably one of those things where it's like whenever Walsh guards Jalen Brown at practice, Jalen Brown is like, "Fuck, this guy's like really hard to score on." So like maybe one of those things where it's like you don't totally know until you're playing against him in practice, where it's like you kind of give those extra nudges to Missoula to be like, "I've seen it out there. If this guy gives me problems, he's gonna give other teams problems as well." So yeah, he's been awesome. He's been a revelation. I mean, a revelation for the Celtics, but like just one of those nice things that you figure out like when the roster is kind of as bare bones as it is right now for the Celtics. Like one of the big hopes for this season was, I mean, like initially it was like get a good draft pick. That's kind of out the window now. But the secondary thing was like, okay, let's kind of like see what else this team has to offer. Like we still have been making picks in like the second round and late in the first round. Let's give some of these guys a little more run and see next year when we beef up this team again, who's going to stick around, who's still going to get like big time minutes. And it is a nice thing where we're like, okay, like wow, like next year when like Tatum is back, Like we can have Walsh like coming off the bench, like playing like 27 minutes a game or something like that. That's like super valuable. Like, he is potentially, it's been small sample size so far, but he's looked really good. But he's looking like a guy who can get like legitimate run time in the playoffs, which is like really valuable on a cheap contract too. So
Yeah, and I think he's 21 or 22, so still super young. The offense, I think I think we'll see the efficiency drop off. He's still fouling a lot on defense, but he looks to be a great role player in the future. And exactly what you said, I think we're kind of sifting through and finding some gold in Kada, in Minot, in Walsh,
yes,
um, that we can trust once Tatum is back. So that's it. But yeah, he's becoming one of my favorite players. I love watching him out there. So big shout out.
hell yeah. Do we want to save rookies for our next podcast?
I think so. I mean,
I think
I,
so too.
I,
They're
I
yeah, yeah. All this to say is like they're also like some rookies who've like really surprised and like come on this year that maybe we didn't expect. We'll save them for next time. They're not going anywhere. The rookie of the year race is gonna be a really interesting one. So we'll save it. We'll save it.
we'll save it. But there is one that I think we might both be dying to talk about. Who's
Totally, totally. But like he needs way more time than we can afford him. So
and I need to
well,
watch him more closely. I'm not tuning into too many Pelicans games.
spoiler alert. Yeah, Jeremiah
Spoiler alert.
fears.
Jeremiah fears. But yeah, people are talking about Queen, and I think I want to kind of deep dive before I have too many hot takes. But um, I think we can wrap it up.
I think so too.
It has been another episode of the Harold Mink Basketball Show. I feel like it's been a good episode. I feel like got all the points I wanted to make off my chest, and it's always a pleasure. So thank you, Harry.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, fans, all for tuning in. Remember to like, subscribe, hit that bell, get notifications when we're dropping new episodes. We did take a little bit of a hiatus. That was on me. I was a little bit busy. But we're all the way back now, and we've got our rookie list already set, so we already know what our next topic is going to be. We might sprinkle in some additional things too. We'll probably talk about the winners of the in-season tournament as well. And like I said, in-season tournament's been really fun, so I recommend people watch if they are, kind of into those like niche things in the NBA. So thank you all for tuning in. Again, you're the best fans in the world, and peace and love.
God bless. Peace and love.